Hey guys, Sundown here. This is going to be my chapter review to Nanatsu no Taizai of the 7 Deadly Sins 306, the last stop of a long journey that's been kind of bad. So, what did we get this chapter? You can tell from the tone already. Kind of poopy chapter. I mean, I think to be fair, the majority of the chapter was okay. So, we get initially the demon armies retreating because the demon king has been defeated. I mean, were they ever really cognizant to begin with, these demons? I don't think they were. They were just kind of soldiers created for the purpose of soldiering. So I'm not annoyed by this. We move on. They're just moving away because their leader has died. They have no reason left to fight. They move on. They go. So I'm cool with that. Second, Ruduciel finally passes away, but not before he tells Mael that these are the first few steps the goddesses and the demons can take together to the future in harmony, holding hands, linking pinky fingers and all that shit. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. Good stuff. This obviously surprises Elizabeth with Ruduciel saying he was just sick of the Holy War. And I was like, to be fair, let's just take a little indent here. Last time I checked, this guy was Ruduciel, we're speaking about right now. This guy was all about the Holy War until kind of Mael popped back into existence and then greater threats came around. But he still had that like racism towards the demons. Let's be real, the guy did not like demon kind at all. But I suppose, like I said, a lot of his hatred would have come from the fact that his younger brother was murdered by demons. So maybe this isn't quite so flip-floppy as I'm making it look like. So yeah, I'm not sure how much I like Ruduciel saying he was sick of the Holy War, whether he wasn't, but it feels a bit. I mean, he is on the like precipice of death, so I assume that's okay. Let's say that's okay. So I also thought it was funny how he said he couldn't see anymore and his eyes are still kind of closed. I was like, okay. So Ruduciel is then thanked by Elizabeth, meaning he at least passes in content. Also, which demons and goddesses, like this is just a side point, but which demons and goddesses are supposed to take any further steps in harmony towards the future, you know what I mean? Like that's what Ruduciel was saying. He was like, yes, we can finally hold hands, go towards the future to a new kind of open expanse of greenery and shit like that. But which demons and goddesses are physically left to do that? There's barely any of either race alive besides Mael, Elizabeth, Zoldris, and Meliodas. I think are those the only four? Maybe Cusack and Chandler if that plot hole ever decides to get plugged up or some shit. But I can't name any other living demons or goddesses that, you know, if there were others, they would surely have played a part in the Holy War. So I'm not sure what he means by that, but let's just hope. Unless a supreme deity pops up, but I think that's pretty much a no-show at this point in time. So here we come to the shitstorm part of the chapter. Buckle up, kids. So everyone is gloomy because Elizabeth's curse is still active. Merlin says that Meliodas tried to absorb the commandments and break the curse, but they had to destroy the Demon King. So what I took from this kind of statement was, seeing as she's talking about the commandments and how Meliodas tried to absorb them to remove the curse, and then she's like, but the Demon King has been destroyed. I assume the commandments have left this plane alongside the Demon King. This suggests that with the Demon King dead, Meliodas does not have the commandments, as all remnants of the Demon King's powers have been erased. So Meliodas, the long and short of it is, Meliodas does not have the commandments. Elizabeth says she's okay with dying and coming back and all that, which seemed like a bummer, but what else can they do? I was like, you know what, that's kind of a bummer. That's a sad, negative way to end the story, but I'm okay with that because, you know, sometimes even if the hero is victorious, he's not necessarily achieved all the goals that he'd want to achieve. He's victorious in most ways, but not in some of the ways that he wanted to be, which is where tragedy comes in and stuff like that. But then we have the shit part of the chapter, which is Meliodas just comes out with his hair on, like flicking forward and stuff like that, and he's got that stupid face on, the kind of annoying Meliodas, and he says that he acquired a power to break the curse in purgatory, something which everyone is shocked by. And then you have Ban, who is instantly suspicious, questioning Meliodas internally, but not really saying much out loud. He's like, nah, bro, you don't have that power. Then he's like, unless you really did. And he's looking at Meliodas like, and I'm just like, what the fuck's going on? Like, what did you obtain in purgatory? You didn't obtain jack shit in purgatory. So, unless he's talking about that power which he kind of released rather than obtained, he always had that power, supposedly. So Meliodas then nonchalantly gets Merlin to materialize their curses, Elizabeth and Meliodas, that is. One which actually looks like a giant cloister, and the other that looks like an Ouroboros, that whole kind of infinity, the symbol of infinity kind of thing. It's usually the snake eating its own tail, but here we have heads eating other heads and stuff like that. It's usually a symbol of kind of reincarnation and things like that. So this is where the bullshit's kind of incoming. Meliodas assumes a new form looking very similar to the Demon King in his own body, only he's chibier and with some minor changes in detail, like the fluffy stuff around his neck is slightly different, and I think his gloves and stuff like that are slightly different as well. So Meliodas then uses his chakra arms to mold a Rasengan. Literally, that's exactly what I thought of. And he throws it at the curses. They're destroyed. Everyone is happy. What the fuck was that? Like, legit, like, Meliodas just got rid of the curses because he felt like it. And supposedly acquired some power from purgatory. Now, this is lazy writing at its finest. This is an actual joke. It's so bad. And I saw like the first 10 seconds of Griever's review because I didn't want it to influence my review. But I could tell the guy was not happy. So check that out as well. But he was not best pleased by whatever happened this chapter. And I'm getting the feeling it's very similar to why I'm not pleased with it. So it's obvious that Meliodas is hiding something with the way he kicked the shit out of the Demon King. He probably does meet the criteria for lifting the curse. However, this is endgame level shit. This is the end of a series right now. There's been no suspense, no struggle, no payoff, no element of good storytelling. This has just been incredibly poor for the longest while. And think about it. Something we've been waiting to see for probably a year or two now, I think maybe closer to 2. In one chapter, this is the kind of their curses, gets addressed in a stupid fairy tale-ish manner, and it's accepted as if everything is cool by the people within the story. And I'm just like, nah, Nakaba, like, that's bullshit. That's big bullshit. You have done so poorly here. You've culled your baby. You've culled your series by having it end like this. This is the same way Bleach ended, the same way Fairy Tail kind of ended. It's so poor. It is horrible. Just like, okay, we don't have anything to heal. We don't have anything to lift the curse from Elizabeth and Meliodas. Oh, what are we gonna do? Oh, actually, I have that. Yeah. What? No, that's shit. That is piss poor storytelling. And what I'm assuming is that Meliodas will in fact not be able to remain in the human world, I hope, seeing as the power he unlocked in Purgatory should disallow him of that right. So when they're in Purgatory, first, if Meliodas had absorbed all the 10 Commandments, he wouldn't have been able to stay in the real world for very long at all. He would have eventually gone wherever else he has to go. But when he unleashes his power that gets rid of the Demon King's arm, the Demon King, I think, if I remember correctly, mentions that Meliodas himself mentions that he won't be able to stay in the human world after unleashing that power. So it's not just the commandments, it's Meliodas unleashing his true power that would make him unable to stay in the human world. So technically speaking, Meliodas should not be able to remain in the human world if this lifting of the curses has anything to do with that power, which I assume it does, because he's essentially gotten rid of curses which I assume were implemented by the Supreme Deity and the Demon King, and he was able to use a power which erased like either the Demon King's energy or his soul or some shit and got rid of his arm. So I think he has some sort of like erasing godlike ability powers or some shit like that. I have no idea. I'm just chatting shit right now. But that's how he got rid of the curses. And that's why he probably wouldn't be able to stay in the human world, because technically he is as strong as like the Demon King is, right, or ever was. He freaking whooped the shit out of the Demon King. So either way, Meliodas should not be able to stay in the human world. But whether that means anything right now or not, probably not, because it's the end of the story. And even if he does go away forever into the demon world, Elizabeth will just follow his ass there, because if Meliodas can go to the goddess's realm, which I think he has, then surely the goddesses should be able to travel to the underworld, which they probably have too. So this entire last arc, and maybe even longer, has been full of plot holes, poor power scaling, characters going missing, like the freaking original demon. Where the frick is he? Where Cusack Chandler? What? And just bad writing. So and then somewhere in the back of this chapter, Hawk was chilling with his back turned. Maybe something's up there too. Like he had his back turned while Meliodas was talking, almost as if he's guilty of something. But to be fair, I don't really give a shit. I'm done. The series has really dropped in quality over the last arc, maybe a little bit more, and I'm disappointed, to say the least. Like, Taizai was one of the shining beacons of, like, this is what a manga should be like, and it very quickly became this is not what any manga should try to imitate at all. So let me know what you guys thought of this chapter. Let me know what you guys thought of this review. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. I'm going to go check out Griever's review to see what he had to say about it. Should be good times. So I'll see you guys in a bit.